Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Well, my next project here is getting lined up to be able to set the head back on top of the block. So first thing I got to do though is jump up here. Got a little bit of oil laying up here from putting the pistons in, that kind of stuff. So I want to take a rag and clean that all up and then get the head gasket out. Just going to wipe this all down good. In fact, I saw on my one John Deere 3040 series Facebook group I'm on, sure enough, a guy, I don't know what size tractor it was, but it was a 466 motor, and sure enough, the motor had dropped a valve. And wow, that's not good when that happens. Really beat the head all up right over top. I think it might have actually been the front piston, just from the picture I can see. And of course, the piston itself was all chewed up, and of course, it hammered into the head. Several guys on there told him that machine shop might be able to check it out, but they said easiest thing to do is to get a reman head. So that's got that all cleaned up. Let's see if we can find the head gasket. Alrighty, there's the head gasket. I would have thought that it would have said this side up or this side down. This here, just from the feel of it, it feels like the top side. All it has is just some numbers on it. Well, let's go see what it looks like. Okay, I think I got you halfway situated up there, that way you can watch. There we go. It does make it nice having a pin there and a little pin right there. It holds it all in place. Okay, well, obviously it's directional. Now it does not want to seat. Let's take and just give it an end for end flip back down like that. Now it lines up. Okay, that's the top side. That's what I'm going with. When I had it flipped over the other way, it would not seat down around these little pipe tubes. So now right there's some little numbers and that kind of stuff, but nothing as far as anything saying this side up. Alrighty, I think that'll work. Well, now time to start getting the head hooked on the forklift. Okay, here's the head. There we go. And that's why you leave the injectors out of it. That way when you have it sitting on a pallet like that, you can't hurt the injectors because they actually stick slightly out of the bottom. And so, okay, let's see here. I'm set up. Come in right over top of it and to begin to hook in with my ratchet straps. Because this here's the front. this here's the back, right in front of the cab. And so we'll get hooked up here and see what happens. Okay guys, let's see what we can do here. I want to take and run this strap across. Hook it into an X pattern. Oop, that fell off. Take another strap, do the same exact thing. Exit. Just the opposite. Hook in right there. I put a couple exhaust manifold bolts on this side to hook onto. Hook on that side. Same thing. Take these clamps. You know what? That's going to be too thick. I got to get a C-clamp. I'm going to take these C-clamps right here instead, and that way it can't it can't allow it to want to walk back and forth. Okay, it's got pinched down. Let's raise it up. There we go. Perfect. Alright guys, I got you sitting up here kind of on the side, right on the front of the cab. So I'm going to jump in the forklift. Hopefully you can see halfway decent as I come in here and try and get that head drop back down on top of that block. Okay, let's see what we got here. Can't get hung up on the water pump. There we go. Now let's see what happens. think that'll work right there. I can now I got it sitting on there, I can just basically just take and turn it and drop it right on down. That'll work just perfect. Go ahead and get these ratchet straps all undone. Those C-clamps work pretty good. It keeps your strap from wanting to slide and walk one way or the other on the fork. One good thing, at least I didn't have to take let's see here, that hydraulic, get you tipped up there, this little block piece, these 3 lines, I was able to leave them all on because whereas before when I took the thing off, it still had the exhaust and intake manifolds on it. I could not get that off because a bolt broke out. But with them off, now I got plenty of room to work. Okay, I'm going back out of here. And then I'll be ready to just give the head just a little bit of a tweak, and it'll drop right down where it needs to go. There we go. Drop right in. That's what makes it nice, having those little alignment pins, one on each end. It just falls right into place. Perfect. Let me get you down off there, that way you can see a little bit better. Yeah, not bad at all, can't beat that. Look down over here on the side, we're good to go. Well, next step, time to start getting head bolts and that kind of stuff lined up to start torquing it down. Got the head bolts here. Unfortunately, Reliant did not have head bolts. I guess they checked out through 3 or 4 different suppliers of theirs and they were not available. And so I had to go through John Deere to get these, and I can tell you one thing, they're not cheap. Gotta get that stupid thing open. Yeah, there we go. Just for your information, a set of head bolts for a 466 going through John Deere, $240. John Deere and Case and Agco, they're all really proud of their stuff. I think that's where they make half their money at. Problem solved. Okay, there should be 4 different sizes in here. Okay, these bolts here, those look like they're the same length. And let's see here, then you have these here, some really long ones. Oh yeah, they were a good bit longer. Okay. Set them back over there. And then, I kind of play with it here, see what all I got. I'm going through bolts here, and sure enough, somebody packaged these wrong. These here should be 3¼ inches long. They're 5¼ and I only need 5¼ inch long bolts, and somebody went and threw 6 additional ones in there. So I just talked to my dealer, and thankfully he actually has 6 3¼ inch ones on hand, and so I'm heading off to get the correct bolts. Well, I just got back from the John Deere dealer and just did an exchange. I took back the 6 of the too many 5¼ and he gave me 6 3¼ so now we're good to go again. So I'm going to get to work getting these dropped into the head. That way we can get them all torqued down and we'll be ready to roll. Okay guys, let me show you here right quick. I'm not going to show you putting every bolt in. Gotta watch that little red cap's going to fall off. These here are the bolts I just picked up, the 3¼ So we're going to throw a little bit of oil on the threads, as well as right around the base, well, the shoulders of the bolt head. These short ones here actually go in, let me get you down off here, here on the outside, right down there, right below the injector. I'll go ahead and just spin them down by hand, at least down to where it makes contact. Okay, put you back up on the shelf. The next one, I'm trying to remember. I think it's this right here. This is a 5¼ This here's a 6¼ I'm pretty sure the 5¼ goes right here. Yep, that looks like it. The big long one, I think that might be a 7¼ if I remember right. That goes there. And these here go out there. And of course, like I've always said in time past on other videos, always take and put oil on the threads, as well as on the shoulders, or in this case on that flange. That way when you go to torque the thing down, it's not coming down bare metal on bare metal. It gives it something to slide on to hit your torque setting. Okay, there's that one. Now that guy. In fact, actually a lot of these holes have old motor oil down in them, but that's not going to hurt anything. If anything, it'll actually help. And of course, same thing. Oil up the shoulders. Boing, dropping down. And also in my IT manual, there's you got a tightening pattern. You start right in the middle and start jumping back and forth, alternating from bolt to bolt, back and forth, going forward, going back. That way it's all coming down even. I'm just glad the John Deere dealer had those 3¼ bolts on hand. Otherwise, I would have been hung until he could get them in. Okay, and there's that one. Well, I'm going to get the rest of the bolts, get them all fitted in. Now I'll bring you back in here when I'm ready to put the torque wrench onto them, and tighten things up, and we'll be good to go. Well, I got all the bolts all spun down by hand. There's a bunch of them. I didn't count how many, but there's quite a few in there, I can tell you that much. So I'm going to look here in my book to find out what the torque specs are, and it also shows the proper way to tighten the bolts down. I will say, however, let me see if I can find it. Okay, here we go. 4840, blah, blah, blah. Get down here to engine. Let's go to cylinder head, page 48. Let me show you something. We go up here to page 48, and yeah, somebody did a misprint with this book. You go to page 48, and it is talking about exploded view of quad range planetary clutch and brake assembly. Well, I sure don't want that, and page 48, according to the index, is supposed to be on the head. So they made a big goof up somewhere. In fact, everything in here, if you look at the index, the page number is completely wrong. So I basically just had to go through the entire thing hunting for the head part. Right there's, that's transmission right there. Okay, don't know how well you can see that, but right there is the tightening sequence. You start in the middle and begin to, right there's 1, 2, 3, 4, then jump back over here to 5, 6, it just keeps jumping back and forth. One thing, however, I am kind of running into, in fact, I just called and talked to the guy that actually overhauled this head. It says to initially tighten them up to a torque of 105 foot-pounds. Okay, all well and good. And then it says then retighten in the same sequence up to 117-143. And so I was talking to him. That's kind of an oddball. So he said for verification, call and talk to the John Deere dealer where we got the bolts from. He said they should be able to get you the exact thing. And so first off, let's start tightening. Let's take them up to 105, and so we're going to start on bolt number 1, which is coming down across here. Hopefully you can see halfway decent. Okay, 1, 2, 3, bolt number 1. That guy right there. 1, 2, and let's see here. Yeah, there's 1, 2. Oh, 3 clear out here on the outside, then 4 back over there. Then we jump back up over on this side and come back across. So I'll get my torque wrench here, run up to 105. Okay, got my torque wrench set. I'm not going to show doing every one of these, but hey, I can show you a few anyway. I'm going to have to eat more Cheerios. I am about ready to pull myself off the ladder. I need something to actually put my knee against and pull. Okay, there we go. Jump down here to 2. Maybe I can grab on the corner of the cab and pull around. Okay, there's 2. Now, we're going to jump right down over here to number 3. And yes, if you hear a bunch of background noise, that's rain hitting the shed roof. Thankfully it's rain and not snow. I'll take that. I'll take rain any day. Yuck, I hate snow. Okay, there's 3. Now we're going to go up here to 4. There's 4. Okay, back here is number 1. Right here is number 5. And then jump out here is number 6. All right, well, I think you get the basic idea. One thing, however, that I am seeing, it says to take and do all that, complete assembly to the point of permitting engine to run engine at 2100 RPM for a half hour, retighten the head bolts 135-165. There's just one problem with that. That means you gotta put this whole entire thing back together, including intake, exhaust manifold, and the top manifold piece here for the radiator, because it comes up here, comes up, comes together, and then goes up here and hooks onto your radiator line. That blocks access to all these head bolts on this side. And so technically they want you to take the do that, run it for a half hour, then you got to take all that stuff back off to retighten the head bolts. So I can tell you one thing, I'm not doing that. So hopefully John Deere can get me the deal, we'll be good to go. So, well, I'm going to keep tightening head bolts, and I'll bring in and out here as I go along. 105, I just called and talked to the John Deere dealer, and he says come with a 3-step deal. You start out at 105, then go to 143, which that does show here in the book, although in the book though it shows 117-143. But he said 143, and then you go to 165, you're done. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I gotta reset my torque wrench. Okay, here we go back to number 1 and 140. Well, my stupid wrench, it's hard to find the exact 143, so I set at an even 145. Oh boy. I got more pulling power than I do weight to counter it. Kind of like this tractor has more horsepower than it does traction. I'm having to pull with one hand and reach over with my other hand and pull on the cab to pull the wrench around. I keep wanting to pull myself off my ladder. Well, I'm going to go back through and do the exact same thing at 145.